Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. We're following two breaking stories for you this noon. General Motors committing $2.2 billion in investment in Detroit. We'll break down where that money is going in a moment. But first, a heavy police presence this noon in the area of Finkel and Greenfield. This is on Detroit's west side, and that does top our news this noon. You are looking at more of this video from a crime scene as investigators are trying to piece together what happened after two bodies were found. The discovery was made in the area, as I said, of Finkel and Greenfield, and that is where our Victor Williams joins us now with more on what has been quite a scene there for the last few hours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite tense. People are still out here watching on. Unfortunately, we're told that there were two dead bodies that were found at this gas station.
Detroit police blocked off Finkel to investigate a shootout that took place at this mobile gas station. We're told people could hear shots being fired and later saw two bodies on the ground. Just minutes later, family members of one man believed to be DeMarco Early showed up, devastated hearing the news. One man could even be seen getting out of his car, crossing over police tape to get to his cousin. He had to be stopped by several officers. Police are still looking into what factors led to the shooting, but we're told by officers that around 9:45, a man at the gas station shot another person and then turned the gun on himself. At this point, we're not sure if Early was the one with the weapon. His family members, however, tell us that he did not deserve a fate like this.
He didn't mess with nobody. He didn't do nothing to nobody. He loved his family. He stayed across the street. All he could do was go to Captain Jay's.
And as you guys can tell, this is a green light location, so obviously there are cameras all around. We're going to be looking into this as officers release more information. Reporting live on Detroit's east side, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Victor, very disturbing. Thank you. The other breaking news we want to get to you this noon is out of General Motors, just announcing they plan to commit $2.2 billion in investment, and this will bring more than 2,000 jobs here in the city of Detroit at the Detroit Hamtramck Assembly Plant. Let's get right over to business editor Rod Maloney on this huge announcement at about a year ago, a plant that was shuttered or planned to be shuttered to close.
Right, Ron. The elation here is palpable. You can expect more in the days to come because a plant that was all but dead has been not only brought back to life, but it's going from zero to hero, becoming one of the most technologically advanced plants in all of General Motors.
To build a new generation of electric pickup trucks, SUVs, and other EVs beginning late just this next year.
The announcement includes GM building the Cruise Origin autonomous electric shuttle vehicle that it rolled out last week in the West Coast, along with an electric pickup truck. They're going to be bringing 2,200 jobs with them. That's the big news. It makes perfect sense considering the UAW GM line workers built the Chevy Volt here at one time. But now the cars they've been building and are winding down, the Impala and the Cadillac CT6, are not selling. So GM announced DHAM's closure back in November of 2018, caused massive controversy as a result. The UAW strike last fall included a major effort to save it. And Mayor Mike Duggan chalks up part of this to a phone call he had with GM CEO Mary Barra the day after the closure announcement.
But you've been headquartered in the city of Detroit for 100 years. We have a special relationship. If you're going to build the vehicles of the future somewhere, why wouldn't you build the future of the vehicles in the city?
With the help of some state tax breaks, Barra and Royce worked out a plan, and today the smiles are as wide as they were upside down 14 months ago.
This will be our most high-tech facility in the world right here in Detroit.
And that is the great news here. The history of this plant is in large measure what saved it. Now, when you want to know more about this electric pickup truck that they're going to be building, well, we're going to find out more about that when you tune into the Super Bowl come Sunday night. Reporting live in Hamtramck, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, and we turn to that great news, to the sadness that the entire country and world is feeling today as the tributes continue to pour in for NBA legend Kobe Bryant. A memorial growing outside of the Staples Center where he played for the Lakers, with fans leaving flowers and posters. Last night's cell phone video captured fans chanting Kobe outside of the arena.
Kobe, 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 Kobe.
that going on while the Grammy Awards were taking place inside. And more tributes continued throughout the night. LAX Airport in Los Angeles, the pylons outside of that airport were turned into the colors of the Los Angeles Lakers in purple and gold. And even our Little Caesars Arena here in downtown Detroit shined bright in those purple and gold colors as well, all in honor of Kobe Bryant. And as fans around the world are still in disbelief after learning that he passed away along with his 13-year-old daughter and 7 others in that helicopter crash, the NTSB is assisting in handling the investigation into what happened, why that helicopter went down. Let's get to Jay Gray with the latest.
Hey there, more than 24 hours after the tragic crash, fans are still gathering here, emotional, stunned, and like investigators, still searching for answers.
Retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed.
Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon.
The news, just like the player.
81-point game.
Unbelievable. Overwhelming. Basketball legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others killed as his chopper slams into a hillside just west of Los Angeles. Among those on board, college baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie and their daughter Alyssa, 13-year-old Peyton Chester and her mom Sarah, and girls basketball coach Christina Mauser. The group reportedly traveling to a youth basketball tournament at Bryant's Mamba Sports Academy. Investigators now trying to piece together how and why it happened. Witnesses saying the chopper was flying through heavy fog.
We do know there was an issue of visibility and a low ceiling.
The international superstar seemed to have no ceiling. A 5-time champion, an all-star, 18 seasons, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Off the court a winner as well, creating a multimedia company, winning an Oscar for Best Animated Short Film in 2018.
I mean, as basketball players, we're really supposed to shut up and dribble, but I'm glad we do a little bit more than that.
Bryant, the husband, father of 4, remembered now for so much more.
The memorial continues to grow here, and the next scheduled game for the Lakers here at Staples Center is tomorrow night against their in-town rivals, the Clippers. In Los Angeles, I'm Jay Gray. Back to you now.
All right, Jay, thank you. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Bryant family and all of the families impacted by the death of all 9 people on board of that helicopter. We'll continue to keep you updated with all the new information on clickondetroit.com and also a comprehensive look back at the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant. Getting to other news this noon, to Washington. President Trump's impeachment trial. The president's lawyers will continue making their case for the president's acquittal this afternoon. Meantime, Democrats are demanding for witnesses, and that Democratic demand is gaining momentum after explosive claims by the president's former national security advisor. Senators just gave a press conference.
We have a different view by Ambassador Bolton in regards to what the president is saying. The only way we can discover the truth is to have Ambassador Bolton testify under oath, subject to cross-examination, in order to find out the truth.
And we do want to get to Susan McGinnis. She joins us now with a breakdown of all of the new developments from Capitol Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice.
As President Trump's legal team presses ahead with its arguments in the Senate impeachment trial, new claims from former National Security Advisor John Bolton's upcoming book threaten to upend the proceedings.
Ambassador Bolton essentially confirms the president committed the offenses charged in the first article of impeachment.
In a manuscript obtained by the New York Times, Bolton claims President Trump told him he was withholding aid to Ukraine until it announced the investigation he wanted into the Bidens.
But I think at this stage it's pretty fair to say that John Bolton has a relevant testimony to provide to those of us who are sitting in impartial justice.
The manuscript, which hasn't been viewed by NBC News, bolstering Democrats' demands for witnesses at the trial, especially Bolton.
This is something that answers the question of what Bolton would testify to.
That's stunning. That's a game changer. There's no possible explanation for why they would not want Mr. Bolton under oath.
President Trump firing back on Twitter, saying he never told Bolton the aid was tied to investigations accusing him of trying to sell his book, and falsely claiming Democrats never asked Bolton to testify. The White House questioning why Bolton's manuscript is surfacing now.
It's sad, but I think the timing is very suspect. And again, as the president said, that's just not true. The president did nothing wrong, and we stand by exactly what we've been saying all along.
So far, Republicans have argued the president's actions don't rise to the level of impeachment, but this new revelation adds new pressure as the president's team tells his side of the story on the Senate floor.
A vote on whether to hear witnesses at the trial and admit documents withheld by the White House could happen as soon as this week. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
All right, Susan, thank you. And Republican Senator Susan Collins just issued this statement that reads in part, the reports about John Bolton's book strengthen the case for witnesses and have prompted a number of conversations among my colleagues. Meantime, you heard there from Republican Senator Mitt Romney. He says on Saturday that he very likely will vote to call witnesses in the impeachment trial. So we'll just have to see what happens. The impeachment trial, by the way, it's going to resume this afternoon, as it has been daily at 1 o'clock. You can keep it right here with Local 4 for a special report anchored by Lester Holt with the live coverage of those proceedings to follow. Brandon Rue watching over our forecast this noon, and temperature's been staying about the same all morning long up to now.
The clouds are responsible, Rhonda. You can see them on that look over your shoulder, and the look sort of matching the mood around here today. It's a little somber, and we would love a little bit of sun. It would go a long way, but low and middle 30s, the temperatures out there. 36 Grosse Ile, it's 35 over in Ann Arbor. 8, anytime we see an 8 or 24, we're paying tribute to one of the greatest. With one name, Kobe. He is going to be missed, certainly. And we do have 8-mile-an-hour winds in a lot of spots with a wind chill in the 20s for the most part. But if you're heading out, we're going to stay right there in the middle 30s with the clouds and looking for sun, Rhonda, coming up.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Still to come, concerns about the coronavirus are increasing right here in Michigan as well as across the world, where efforts to contain that outbreak stand this noon. But first, and let's take a look at the stock market, why so much attention is being paid there as the prices are dropping.